So, welcome to Cozy Midnight Collective.
This is a space for readers, quiet conversations, and stories that linger, especially the ones that get a little uncomfortable.
Today, we're talking about The Housemaid. And before we go any further, we want to be very clear.
This entire episode contains full spoilers. We're talking about everything, the plot, the twists, the ending, all of it.
So if you haven't read the book and you want to go in fresh, this is your sign to pause and come back later.
If you have read it or you're okay with spoilers, we're really glad that you're here.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes.
Okay, so to keep ourselves grounded, we're breaking this conversation into 4 parts. We're going to move through the story in order.
So we're going to start with the setup, move into the escalation, talk through the twists, and then zoom out at the end and talk about the themes and how the book ultimately lands.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start at the beginning.
Oh boy. So... Yeah.
Where to start?
Yeah. So basically, we start off with Millie, and right off the bat, we find out that she's at a really low point. She's broke, she's living in her car, and she's desperate for stability.
Yeah, she's pretty in the dumps. Not a comfortable situation. So early on, we also learned something pretty crucial, and that's Millie being out of prison on parole.
Yeah. So that pretty much it immediately changes how we're going to read everything that she does.
So, and read everything that she does, that basically encompasses when you're moving forward in the book and you're wondering why is she making the decisions that she's making, we have to put ourselves back in the point of view of Millie. And if we were in that desperate of a situation, we would probably let things slide too that would normally, not slide for an average Joe.
Yeah.
But she takes this housemaid job with the Winchesters. So it's Millie, and then she's going to work for Nina and Andrew Winchester. And then they also have a daughter whose name is Cecilia. And this is Nina's daughter from a prior relationship. We end up learning about that. Andrew is the adopted stepfather. And even though there's literally red flags everywhere.
Yeah, the attic. She finds out that her room is going to be in the attic. So she's pretty much separated from the rest of the house. And the cherry on top of that is that it locks from the outside.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, come again.
Yeah.
What did you say?
No, right off the bat, if I were to see a door that locks on the outside, I'm like, I don't need this job that bad.
Yeah, I would have been like, actually, please don't explain
at
all. I don't care. I'm fucking out of here.
But
outies.
We're not Millie. So that's where it kind of is
exactly.
To a person who's not desperate, we're like, that's stupid. We're not doing
thank
that.
God we're not desperate that.
But poor Millie.
Anyways, and then there's Nina, who aside from the first normal interaction with Millie, which goes pretty well, I'm like, okay, cool. She's a nice gal.
Yeah.
But moving forward, when she comes back, and pretty much for the remainder of the entire book, Nina is volatile.
Insane.
She's an actual psychopath. She's cruel, and then on top of everything, she's very unpredictable, and she gaslights like nobody else's business.
And then on the other hand, we get Andrew, who presents himself as this really sweet, gentle, calm, and reasonable person. So we have two ends of this spectrum, I guess. And so
very broad spectrum.
We end up whenever Andrew is brought into the situation, he's pretty much the safety. We're going from Nina's insanity to Andrew cleaning up the pieces and making excuses. And so yeah, Andrew, we end up kind of almost loving him.
Yeah, you have this adoration for him, just being the other half of the puzzle piece for why it fits. Like, she's so catastrophically over here that if you didn't have him, it just wouldn't mesh.
Yeah.
However, this is where the book really starts to play in on your perception.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say, you know, we learned that Millie, she, you know, going into it, she's trying to kind of fulfill the requirements for her parole. So, you know, she needs to have a stable home to live in, a stable job, and she needs to be making steps to become a better, like, not a better person,
but like reintegrated
into society.
Yeah.
So I think these are like her main driving forces as to why she ignores so many red flags, like the room in the attic, Nina's borderline psychotic behavior. So, you know, again, to people who aren't in desperate need of something like that, we probably would have been out the door, like, probably day one. Like, when Nina's throwing gallons of milk on the floor.
Or screaming at her for lost paperwork that literally doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But it's like there's also like a physical perception of the home itself where it reads and feels almost protective because it's in this really wealthy neighborhood, manicured lawns, like everybody has pristine magazine cover homes. They have people working for them. It's just like very like, this is how it is. This is what is expected. And so it gives the vibe that it's safe as well. And then she's a mother to this child. So obviously mothers are always kind of connected to safety and being trustworthy. But yeah, you just never, this book just goes to show you nothing is ever as it seems. And you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah, like, don't judge a book by its cover. Almost right off the bat, you kind of notice that there's, like, between Nina and Andrew, they seem almost ill fit for each other.
She did say, page 22, it's hard not to notice that he's several levels more attractive than his wife, even with her impeccable grooming, which strikes me a bit strange. So it kind of gets your mind thinking, how did these two end up together? And how did we end up here now, like in this moment?
Especially like with like this, like the stark differences in their personalities, you know, again, going back to like Nina is a little bit psychotic. She's rude. She gaslights, you know, and then there's Andrew, who's this like super sweet,
like
calm,
knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Woo saw my anxiety ridden wife.
Handsome, successful, like all of that stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's, you are like,
how did this happen? 2 levels below, crazy, anxiety, controlling, manipulative woman get this banger of a husband?
And it's interesting too, because like a lot of people, I think, like I assumed, you know, reading at this part in the book, I was thinking like, okay, he's obviously staying with her to protect the child.
Right.
And then you kind of find out like that, like he's trying to continue to have kids with her. Like he wants to continue having kids with her. He wants a big family. And, you know, like if like Millie, like, and if I were Millie, I'd be like, okay, she's insane. Why would you add another kid on top of this, which could like further
just the complexity of the situation.
Yeah, it's just,
like
it's
a little
really
bit
tricky.
And she kind of also like Millie kind of finds herself kind of crushing.
Yeah,
at the same time,
attracted.
she's just you know, every once in a while you hear about her cheeks blushing. You know what I mean? But it's also incredibly awkward because Andrew didn't know Nina was going to hire Millie in the first place, and there was going to be like a live-in maid / nanny. So the whole picture, just like stepping back, is just who has the full picture? What's going on? What are we missing? Like, you know, something's missing, but what is it?
Okay, so the middle of the book is kind of getting into more about like control.
Yeah, Nina's behavior definitely escalates.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's insulting, she's gaslighting, there's clear, you know, emotional whiplash, right? We're just being bounced all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and Millie is like starting to question herself at this point.
Mhm.
Her competence, her sanity, and like her worth. Nina is like really, really getting more and more like just outright cruel. She's insulting her in front of company, in front of
Neighbor,
Andrew,
yeah.
neighbors,
Mhm.
and even to Enzo, the
The
gardener.
gardener,
Yeah,
yeah.
at one point she kind of like, you know, Millie's trying to talk with Enzo, and Nina comes out and is like, "Don't talk to her.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to talk to her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she also at, one point, she's trying to keep them separate,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll dive into a little bit later, and it
Yeah.
does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also at the same time so insulting her in front of Enzo to Enzo, but then also behind closed doors,
Mm-hmm.
speaking with her about, don't talk to Enzo. Like the help doesn't talk to the help,
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Andrew, he gets more involved.
Mhm.
Very, again, knight in shining armor. He
Mhm.
wants to essentially position himself as if he's the only safe haven
Mhm.
in a chaotic hellhole.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so this is where like the book really does become like kind of unsettling, especially because like the kindness starts to feel like strategic almost, because like because it's happening so little. So it's either coming only from Andrew, or every now and then
Mhm.
Nina almost, it's like
She forgets that she
it's like a
has to
split
be.
personality
Yeah.
almost, where it's like one hand, like, Millie almost expects the rude comments, the insane behavior, and then
Mhm.
when Nina is nice and kind and is like offering her clothes and is like, "Oh, I'm not going to use this anymore," or
Right.
you know,
Or
Millie is
here's
kind of
this
like,
new phone.
yeah,
Here's my credit card.
yeah,
Drive my car. Like
Mhm.
everything always comes with an insult,
hmm
but then it's
or
always
a
like,
catch.
let me help you, but there's a catch 22.
Yeah.
Millie's on parole. Like we said, she's on parole for murder. Kind of rewinding a little bit back, just so you're aware of, again, you're probably following along with us. If you haven't, you're aware of those spoilers, but she went to prison for 10 years when she was 17, so she's 27.
Yeah.
And she went to prison for murdering another guy that went to school with her and her friends. She essentially walked in on this dude raping her friend, and she beat him to death with was it like a book?
I believe it's like a trophy or a book or something like
Not
that.
a book,
like
but
a
like
bookend.
yeah,
like a
bookend
bookend
or a
something
trophy or
like that.
something.
Yeah.
But needless to say, totally something that bad bitches would do. I could totally see myself in that situation being like, oh, you're gonna rape my friend, so that's the end of that.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at Millie. Like
We can blame her.
yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit. However, at the end of the day, she doesn't want to return and have to finish out her parole in prison. She wants to stay out and continue to like reintegrate back into the community. Who can blame her? Now she's in this precarious situation where she's stuck in what outwardly would be like the most perfect situation that anybody could ever be in. Perfect job, working with the perfect people, beautiful couple, rich, everything top of the line. But then we have this psychopath behind closed doors. Her daughter is a complete dick to her as well, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
And then we have this only safe person in the house, and she hasn't been with a man, like truly been with a man. So she's got these feelings all festering, and this is the whirlwind of the housemaid.
Yeah, and it's a lot, because this poor, like, you like feel bad for Millie. Like, even though I love that Millie was never painted out to be like this perfect character. Like, obviously she killed a guy, right? Like, regardless if it was like in defense of somebody else or not. Like, but you still feel bad for her, because you're like, girl, like, I can see how you're trying so hard to be a better person and to make this work. And you're being put through all of this like crap, and
it's just like where's your break?
Yeah. And then,
when's life gonna like work out for you just a little bit? You do feel remorseful for her.
I mean, even her parole
she's
officer.
trying. Yeah, she's really trying.
Yeah, even her parole officer is like acknowledging that like she's trying, and like she tells her like, look, this is a fresh start for you. Like, she encourages her to, maybe seek out like a like a romantic relationship too.
Have you started to date yet?
Yeah, like she's like really just wanting to see
there.
good things for her. So it's like, it's not just us as the readers, like even like her parole officer, who's like,
yes,
probably has like a bunch of people that she has to deal with.
In her life.
Yeah, so it's like, and then you like, I do feel bad too, because it's like, you know, her family doesn't talk to her, so it's like she's really truly alone, and like that's why she's like sticking it out so much, is because she's like, she literally has nowhere else to go. And it doesn't matter that, you know, Nina's obviously, if whether or not she has like a mental thing going on, like she's kind of dangerous, you know, like there's.
And she is trying to give Nina the benefit of the doubt. She's
really
like,
is
this
trying.
woman has lost her absolute shit. And she's going back and forth with like, how do I accept this, essentially? How do I accept this behavior, attempt to normalize it? You know, she's trying to cope in her situation. But it's becoming increasingly difficult.
And I think she does try to excuse it too, with like the fact that like, okay, if Andrew stayed for all of this, then there must be something good about her.
Right.
You know? And so I think that she's also kind of using that mentality as well, like with her and her situation. Cause like realistically, maybe not realistically, but she could try to go find something better. But
well, she's not having any luck.
But but there's no luck, you're right. But like in some situations, like if you were like, you're desperate, but like
she even tried to take like the bottom of the barrel, like hamburger McDonald's type of job when she was waiting to hear back, and even they were like, we don't hire felons.
No, again, this is just like, I keep like, you know, you feel bad for her, you feel for her, you try to also understand too. You also try to understand too, like her perspective, like she is down on her luck, you know. And so it's really hard not to put yourself in that position too. Like you're trying to like not put yourself in Millie's shoes. But
you have to.
Yeah, you have to. So, I mean, even she has had so many red flags, like the room, Nina's behavior, and then there's
her daughter's behavior.
And then like more like going up a level from that, you've got like Enzo, who is like just flat out rude. But he's also very mysterious, and he keeps like kind of giving her
clues, like one-worded Italiano clues
for danger, like
so he said, and we're gonna butcher it, so we won't even attempt to say it, but this word that he whispers to her as she's walking into the house for the first time to like move in, she's working for the Winchesters, he says this one word, and she luckily remembers what it is and ends up like Googling it, and it means danger. And so of course with everything that's happening, she's like, everybody knows Nina's dangerous. How am I going to work through this, stick around long enough to earn what I need to like get on my feet to get the fuck out of here?
And then that paired too with she's Millie is clued into this story where again, like where I was thinking was that like, okay, maybe like Millie is seeing it as like Andrew sticking it out for the sake of the child. And it's because it's revealed to Millie that back when Cecilia, the daughter, was a baby, Nina had like a psychotic break where she tried to drown her daughter in the tub. And then she ended up spending like 9 months.
8 months.
9 months in like a mental facility. So,
which
there's like, that's another red flag too. And that, you know, Millie is like,
And what happened at that psych facility is she got on board, you know, so this coin, it's double-sided as they all are. We're going to like see this from a totally different perspective here in a moment, but she owns what she did. So Nina does end up saying like, yes, I tried to murder my daughter. I don't remember anything. I don't remember taking the drugs. I don't remember giving my daughter the drugs in her bottle. I don't remember filling up the bathtub, putting her in it. You know, pretty much the first thing she can remember from that whole scenario is the police being there, and thank God that they were there to rescue her child. But she's in the psych ward, for 8 months. She's submitted to the program. You know, she has found a therapist. She's working through essentially whatever they're telling her happened. She's okay. You know, we're working through that. And poor Millie, she just has no idea what she's gotten into. And so she has that information as well, where it's like, we have this dangerous woman who tried to kill her daughter. And then also we have this whole peanut butter debacle.
Oh my gosh,
where,
the peanut butter debacle.
Where the daughter is almost fed peanut butter. And luckily the child, Cecilia, remembers she's allergic to peanut butter. And it becomes this big issue, which she is indeed allergic to peanut butter. Thank God it's only like hives. It's not anaphylactic reaction, right? So it's not like her airways closing off and she's
But the
you know.
insane part is that like Nina
But it's in
didn't
the
even
house.
tell. Yeah,
It's
Nina
in the
didn't tell
house.
her that she was allergic.
She didn't
like,
give her, and then she's like, "Is there anything else
Yeah.
I need to know?
Please,
Like,
just
hello."
tell me. Yeah, and then Cecilia is like unhelpful with that because
Absolutely.
she's like, I don't know, you should figure it out. And it's like, girlfriend, I don't want to kill you on accident. So like, please tell me.
Yeah.
Because like, I can't go to your mom and ask her because then she'll fire me.
And
Because
she's like a little dick, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, "I want a sandwich,
Yeah.
a bologna sandwich," and then she makes her no, I said a bologna sandwich.
Mhm.
Like, she's such a
yeah, just she's a little dick. Like,
and then the story reaches the moment where everything we thought we understood fractures.
yeah. So this is where the book like fully reveals what it's been doing this whole time, and it gets like just insane.
Yeah,
like,
the narrative essentially flips,
Mhm.
and then suddenly earlier scenes mean the total opposite of what we perceived. So
yeah, like Nina's behavior is like completely recontextualized. Like it literally just like you're like,
it
oh my
flips
god,
it and reverse it.
It literally like makes so much sense.
Don't come after me, Missy Elliott. But no, for real. So, and that just like goes to show you like that's a real IRL moment that you really have no idea what's really going on. There's so many different angles. You need a 360-degree view to understand this story.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to dive into next.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Andrew's kindness, it's exposed.
Yeah.
So he's a dickhead. And he's the one that's kind of pulling everybody, you know, he's the puppeteer. Everybody's on strings. And you just don't know it yet, but now we know. So I took a note and I said, and I just wanted to kind of like chime this in really quickly, but Andy likely didn't choose a younger 20-something supermodel to be his life partner because he's narcissistic, controlling, depraved psycho. And for him, Nina being, you know, talking about she was several steps below him as far as like looks, her face, her body, everything. It plays into her ease of controllability. So her confidence wasn't as high as his when he approached her and decided to pursue her and then obviously marry her. And she fell prey to his trap. So that, and then the fact that he's the CEO of this multi-million-dollar company, he's worth millions of money, the stability that comes along with that type of title, money, power to a single mother. I mean, I've been there before. I've been a single mom working 3 jobs, being like, where's my knight in shining armor? I need help. Yeah. Right? So I can totally understand how she just like walked right the fuck into that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so like going back at like, so at this point in the book, there was a situation where Andrew and Millie, you know, we've already kind of talked about how like Millie was like she's heavily attracted to Andrew. Yes. And like at one point she even tries like, she's like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And so she even tries
like your boss.
Yeah. She even tries to like go like offer something to Enzo. Yeah. And Enzo's like, absolutely not. He's like, no. And so she's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. So, you know, she's kind of like, okay, I just need to get my mind clear. I need to move on. And so at this point, Cecilia is supposed to be going to like summer camp, and Nina asks Millie to get tickets to a show for her and Andrew to go to. And
because she's been like just a hardcore major cunt
bitch. Yeah.
Pardon the language.
No.
But she has been.
Yeah.
And this huge fight ensues, you know, they're all pretty typical surrounding Nina just being psychotic for no fucking reason, right? But Andrew's trying to smooth it over, and she suggests to Millie, you know, go tell Andrew, you know, I want to see this show and go and do this.
Something ends up coming up that like Nina can't go with Andrew.
Okay, guys, I as you can tell, I had to change. I got ridiculously overheated. Anyways, hope you can hear us well. I also changed the mic.
Yeah, we did change out mics and
so yeah, so
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Here we are.
You didn't even know it, but
Right.
we flipped it and reversed it.
So basically,
So going back to Andrew,
yeah, where
right?
we left off.
And
yeah.
the fight with Nina.
Yeah. So we find out
they had gone to the fertility clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So they took like a little day trip when Cecilia was away.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew and Nina went to go to this fertility appointment because they've been hounding, trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Andrew wants several more kids. Nina, unbeknownst to Andrew, but to the reader, she's purposefully not getting pregnant. Okay. But they go to this fertility appointment, come back. Bad news.
Yeah. She basically finds out she can't have kids. So
she can't have kids.
Yeah. So this is what spurs like a really big like fight, which ends up with like
being the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. So you know, at the so you know, a couple days goes by after like this really big fight, and Nina asks Millie to buy tickets to a show so that she can kind of make it up to Andrew for like their big fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so she tells her like, get these tickets, go get like a nice hotel room. This is like one of our favorite hotels.
This is where I want to stay.
And so she's like,
make sure it's this weekend.
Yeah. And she like comes to Millie like nicely, you know, I think she even like kind of is like, sorry about my behavior.
I've been a psycho lately.
Yeah. And so Millie's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Millie's like, holy shit.
We can move on. And then
you on some new meds? They're working.
Yeah. And then she says like, oh, you can have like a break. You know, you can, you know, our daughter will be off at camp. She'll be over at like a friend or something like that. Yeah. Because she's not at camp at this point. So she's like, you can go to she'll go to her friend's house. You can have the house to yourself. Think of it as like a little vacation, paid vacation.
Yeah.
And so Millie's like, okay, cool. We can turn a corner. Maybe this won't be as bad.
Yeah.
As I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gets the tickets, hands Nina the information, and Nina is like, oh my God, you idiot. Why did you do this?
I literally gave you specific instructions, not the weekend after last, but this upcoming.
Yeah.
And Millie's like, dude, you said that last weekend.
Yeah.
This is the following weekend.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow.
Yeah.
You didn't say 2 weeks from now. You said the following, and we're here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Nina gives this like little explanation. She's like, well, I'm not even going to be here this weekend. So like now we can't get this.
Yeah. And that's coming out of your paycheck.
That's
coming out of your paycheck.
And, you know, she makes this big deal, and so she just kind of like leaves. And so at this point, you know, Andrew he's
overheard everything.
He's, you know, privy to all this. And so Nina ends up going wherever she goes. I forget what excuse she made that, you know, she couldn't go, like whatever it was. And Andrew was kind of like, hey, how about you take these tickets? And Millie's like, I really have no need.
I literally have nobody. I just spent the last decade of my life in prison.
Yeah.
My family has completely denounced me.
Yeah.
I have 0 friends. I'm not dating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I mean, I would have been like, fine, I'll go to the show by myself. I'll take myself out for a night on the town.
Yeah.
But obviously she didn't feel comfortable for that. So she's like, I literally have nobody and I can't. And Andrew's like, it's fine. Like, I'm going to call. I'll be able to get it like rescheduled or refunded. Like,
okay. As you can see, we are in different outfits. We had to stop filming where we left off. So we're on a different day, and yeah,
we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
It's all figured out. You know, it's the joys of starting a new adventure. Something that we've never done before. So thanks for bearing with us, even though it doesn't affect you whatsoever.
Yeah.
How do we look?
So yeah, you get to see like the nice finished product, but you do not get to see like the mini meltdowns we've had over some of these things.
Okay, we're surviving. We're just hoping that you continue to listen, and you've made it this far in the video to even notice that we had to shoot 3 separate days.
Yeah, like across 3 different days. So. But here we are. All right, let's get this finished. I think like I'm really excited because this book was really good. Like we liked it. And it's nice to be able to talk about it. And so yeah, like going back to where we left off. At this point, you know, Andrew and Millie had their little tryst in New York City. They come back. Things are a little awkward. Nina
They're trying to avoid each other.
Yeah, Nina dropped the bomb that Millie is a prior convict. And
she kind of sort of still is, but she's out on parole.
Yeah. And so it's not stated why she was in prison. So at this point, at least to Andrew, it is still a mystery as to what she has done, that got her
What
put
she's
there.
capable of.
Yeah. So, so at this point, Millie's kind of walking on eggshells around the house. Andrew and her are doing the best to avoid each other. And then, shit hits the fan. So, Millie comes home one day and Nina has the bags of clothing that she had given her previously, told her, this doesn't fit me anymore. I don't want to get rid of it. I just rather give it to you.
They're beautiful clothes.
Nice
They're worth
clothes.
thousands of dollars. Like, I don't want them to go to waste. I'll never wear them again.
Yeah. So like,
you have them. Please take them. No, you take them.
Yeah. So like on a rare nice day, Millie accepts these clothes, and she did wear one of these little outfits to New York when her and Andrew went to the show.
How ironic.
Yeah. And so Millie comes home. Nina's got these bags, and she's like, "What are you doing with my clothes? Like, why do you have them?" And Millie's like, "You psychotic bitch, you gave them to me." And Nina basically is like, "Why would I give them?"
Kidding me? Are we doing this again?
Yeah. And so Nina's like, "Why would I give my nice clothes to you?" And so at this point, she's
so entitled.
She's insinuating that she's going to call the police. She's like, "You're a prior convict. Like, they're going
to take you back to jail. You're finishing your prison sentence. So this is it."
Now it's like getting to be like, Millie's like starting to panic a little bit. Nina's being just a asshole. And then obviously Andrew hears all of this commotion, comes downstairs, and he's like, "What's going on?" And she says, "Millie stole my clothes." And Andrew's looking at these clothes and he's like, "You haven't worn these in forever."
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, they don't, he kind of starts to say like, they don't fit you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Nina's like, "Are you calling me fat?" And Andrew's like, "No," but he's like, "Okay,
you gave them away. We're not doing this."
And he's like, I can't do this anymore. You are not the woman that I married.
I'm not in love with you any longer.
I can't do this with you anymore. You need to leave. And at first Nina's kind of like, "You want me to leave?" She's like, and she's kind of laughing because she's like, "What, you're gonna leave me for the maid? Like, how
ironic is that?"
Yeah, like what a cliche, And Andrew's like, "It's not even about that," but he's like, "You need to go. I can't do this anymore." And he's like, I want a divorce, pretty much. And so Nina is like, "You know what? Fine." And she takes her stuff and she leaves. And so Millie and Andrew are left standing there, and they're kind of like, "Okay, like, she's gone. Like, we can be together," And so they kind of go through like this honeymoon period where, they're sleeping in the guest room together because, Millie's like, "I don't want to sleep in your guys' bed when you and Nina were in bed together before." They're having dinners together, they're like just in this little happy bubble. And so, Millie in the back, like, obviously she's happy, right? But then in the back of her mind, she's kind of like, I know that Nina is psychotic.
Like, she's going to do something. I know she's going to come back. Something big is coming. And I don't know what. I don't know when.
Yeah.
She's like checking the door. She's like looking out the window. She's just like paranoid.
And even Enzo, like, Millie is kind of like, she'll like look out the window and she sees Enzo, and Enzo is just still there. And he's like very much so like kind of like a shadow on their like happy little honeymoon phase. And so at one point, even Andrew's like, "Why is this guy always here?" And so he goes out and he tells him, and he's like, "You know what? You're fired. You don't need to be here anymore.
Pack your shit. You're always here. Get the fuck out."
So Enzo's gone. Nina's gone.
Everybody's
Millie's
gone.
like, "Okay, like, there's nothing left to rain on this parade. We're good.
Let's get this party started."
One day Andrew comes home from work, and like, he's kind of like, he's really sweet and he's kind of lovey, but like,
no, it was the books that got. Because
so we find that out
during what happened was, during this huge argument, Millie was distracted, so she had been like lounging and reading.
So Millie went to the grocery store, and she felt like somebody was watching her in the grocery store, and so she ends up like just forgetting the groceries, comes home, and she's waiting for Andrew to come home, and he's like, "Hey, I got held up at work. I'm gonna be a little bit late." And so she's like trying to distract herself, and she's feeling like somebody's watching her. She feels like Nina is watching her.
Why did she leave the store?
So she was at the store and she felt like somebody was watching her.
And that was the whole reason, like, she didn't buy anything?
Yeah. So she was like, "You know what, I'm gonna leave." Yeah, she said, "F this, I'm leaving."
No, it was because she found out she was getting tracked.
Yeah, so she found out she's being tracked, but then she also felt like there were eyes on her. And then she looks out the window and she sees what looks like Nina's car outside of the grocery store. So she's freaked
just
out.
Tripping.
Yeah, so she's freaked out.
Like, this is like way too
comes
much.
home, is like texting Andrew like, "Hey, when are you coming home? I'm gonna be late for work." She's like, "Okay, cool." So she's like trying to distract herself. So she reads some books, and she's like reading through like Andrew's books. But she's like, "I can't even focus on this." So she just like puts them on the table. And then Andrew comes home late.
Okay.
And he's like, he like pretty much like, you know, she's like, oh, thank God you're home. You know, things have just been feeling weird. And he's like,
this is all that's going on.
Yeah. And he's like, I can help take your mind off of things. And so he like leads her upstairs, and she's thinking like, okay, we're going to go into the room.
Right.
And then he leads her up to the attic, and she's kind of like, you know what? Like, yeah, this is good. Like, I'm going to like pack up my stuff.
They're going to have one last like bang out session before she officially moves into the guest bedroom.
Yeah. And so she's kind of like, okay, this is kind of hot. And so like, and then she's like, you know what? And then I can move my stuff downstairs, and I could be officially done with this room. And so
we're closing it. It's becoming storage.
They have their moment.
Yeah.
And she falls asleep. And then
they fall asleep together.
Yeah, they fall asleep together on the cot.
And then she wakes up the next morning.
Andrew's gone. And she's kind of like...
She's like, oh, he probably went to go pee.
Yeah, or like, you know, like, this is a really small cot. Like, it's probably not good for his
It wasn't
back.
comfortable. He probably left.
So she goes to go out the door, and it's locked. And she can't get out. Yeah. And then the best part...
and she's like, did it got stuck?
She's literally trying to make up these excuses in her mind.
Like, oh my gosh.
She's like,
he probably...
but he locked me in here.
He probably like, just like muscle memory. He like locked it.
Yeah.
He forgot like that I was in here for a minute. He's so used to like closing and locking it before. It was a mistake. So I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to call him. We're going to get this all sorted out.
Yeah.
And then she's like, fuck, I don't have my phone.
My phone's not in here. She's like looking around the room, like
the windows painted shut.
There's a bucket in the corner, and she's kind of like,
what the fuck is going on?
And so
so she's screaming.
Yeah, starts screaming, and she's like, Andrew, like, let me out. And like, yeah.
And then eventually he comes up and he's like, so calm, cool, collected. Millie. And she's like, oh my God, you're here. Yeah. I don't have my phone. I got locked in here. I need you to open the door. And he's like, I can't do that.
And he's calm about it too. And so that would send me through the fucking roof.
And then his kindness, he's calm, cool, and collected. So even more.
That would fucking piss me off. Like, not only am I locked in
and
here,
psychopathic, but like his kindness gets exposed as control instantly.
Yeah.
Everything she thought she knew fucking shattered.
Yeah. And then we start to like realize that like, oh shit, maybe Nina wasn't the problem. Like, even like before we find out like her whole thing, I'm still thinking like, okay, this guy obviously is the reason why Nina went into like a psychotic, like why she just broke. And so that's like what I had thought, like even reading this part, I was like, okay, Nina's still insane. So it's obviously his fault.
But everybody's insane.
Yeah. So
there's so much going on between these three individuals.
Yeah. So
it's a fucking mess.
So yeah. So like now we're going into the ending of the book.
Yeah. So yeah, the book, it stops asking, you know, what's happening, and it starts asking, you know, what's the cost going to be?
Yeah.
What's the cost going to be to resolve?
Yeah. How does this even get fixed?
Disaster? How
does this get fixed? Because we got our main girl locked up in the attic. We got the guy who we thought was the White Knight, is actually just like a piece of shit. And then we've got Nina, who the fuck knows where she's at.
Yeah, but Millie, she's smart. She starts and she begins to analyze that, like, oh my God, that's what Nina was doing this entire time. It starts making sense. Her escape and how she left and why Millie's there. Millie's bright enough to understand this has all been very calculated on Nina's behalf.
She's realizing that she's a pawn in all of this at the end of the day.
Yeah. And as soon as she goes through what Andrew puts her through, her punishment, you know, in her mind, she's already thinking about, how am I gonna fucking punish this dude?
Yeah.
So
I love that that's where she went. Like, she wasn't like a helpless type. Like, I love that.
Well, no, because she has nothing else.
Yeah.
She's out on parole. Her only like quote unquote friend is her parole officer.
Yeah.
Her family has completely disregarded her. There's nobody left for her. She has no friends to text or call, no family checking in on her. The only one that cares about who she is and what she's doing and where she's at is her parole officer, which she only checks in with like every other month at this point. And Andrew. And so, yeah. So we lead into the final section of this book.
Yeah. And it's all about consequence. like literally the consequences of your actions. That is literally, I would say, like the theme, like the last part of this book is like Andrew is very big on consequences. Like, you know, he talks about how like the reason why he locks her up in the attic in the first place is because she carelessly left his books laying around. And he's like, you know, books are a privilege. Like, it's a privilege to be able to use my nice things, you know. And he's like, you're a maid, you should know to clean up after yourself. And that's kind of when she also gets like,
oh fuck no.
She gets kind of hit, and she's like, excuse me, like, why are you referring to me as the maid, you know? And so she's like, it's really starting to click with her that like, oh my god, he is psychotic. Like, he is legit psychotic.
Right.
And so this final section is all about consequence.
Control shifts hands, and survival becomes a literal driving force.
Yeah. So at this point, you know, the ending isn't neat, but it's intentional.
It is very well thought out. And yes, so Millie's past and her present, they collide in a way that feels almost earned.
Yeah, and then I'd say that the book kind of leaves us with like bigger questions, like the power and belief and like who society tends to protect.
The wealthy,
the
good looking.
Yeah, if you're wealthy and good looking, you can't be guilty of a crime, really. So,
and CEO of a major business.
Yeah.
So we're in this room with Millie. She's been locked in there. I guess we kind of need to rewind a little bit and tell us about Nina's situation.
So we go from like Millie's perspective straight into Nina, and you know, Nina at this point is like, she's living it up in a hotel. She's happy that she's like out of the situation,
laughing hysterically.
She's laughing.
I did it.
She's just having a great time, and
woo! She's drinking. She's fucking popping bottles and shit.
At one point,
like
Enzo comes to visit Nina, and then you realize that Enzo was privy to all of this. Everything that was going on with
Enzo
Nina.
was involved. That's why he forewarned her from the very beginning. He does understand English. He speaks English.
Perfect English.
There's this whole thing between Nina and Enzo.
Like you find out that Enzo actually had like
just the tea. It's all like,
and it's so good because
everywhere.
It's like you get so kind of going. We're gonna rewind just a little bit more, and then we'll kind of get back to that like briefly. But so when Nina met Andrew, she was a single mom. She had a brand new baby, and she was working in a law office as like an assistant or something like that.
Pumping.
Yeah, and so she kind of has like a situation where like her breast milk had leaked all over her blouse, and her boss was like meeting with Andrew at the time, and her boss
her boss's
made this big deal about how like, go clean yourself up, and like nobody wants to see that. And so she's just kind of like, I need this job. Kind of like Millie, right? Where she's like, I need this job, just deal with this, you know, I have to take care of my kid, like I have no other choice. She has, her parents are both passed away, she has no help, the guy that got her pregnant is gone with the wind. So when she comes out of the bathroom and she sees Andrew standing there, and she's kind of confused because she's like, oh, did you need help with something? And he's like, no, I wanted to take you out to lunch. And she's kind of like taken aback because she's like, you want to take me out to lunch? And he's like, I felt really bad about what happened in there, and I want to make it up to you. And so he basically presents himself as like, again, this white knight. He's really sweet, he's kind, he's charming, he's handsome, and he basically is like, hey, my mom's in town next week, she loves kids, do you want to maybe go out to dinner? And so eventually,
and that's when she's like, oh, this guy actually has interest in me. It's not just lunch, like I'm making you feel better so you don't make a complaint to HR about this dude, but like I'm genuinely interested, love everything about you, want to get to know you more. Let's do this thing. And then it's like fast love.
Very quickly they get married, like after a few months of knowing
like
each
6
other.
months.
And then so she quits her job, she's a stay-at-home mom, and you know, the first
she's
year
doing
having
good,
a baby,
right? She's like managing with Cecilia, she's keeping the house clean, she's cooking these amazing meals, like everything is going,
and her and Andrew, again, honeymoon phase, like they're loving on each other all the time.
He hasn't like it's shown his dark side yet, so everything's like going swimmingly, but then
so then again shit hits the fan. So he comes home one day, and he's like looking at her, he's like, you know, giving her kisses, and he's like, hey, I thought you had like a hair appointment today, like your roots are showing. And she's like, oh, I must have forgot, you know, with the baby. And so he's like, oh, okay. And he says, can you go upstairs with me real quick? I need to go upstairs to the attic, I have some important files I need. And he's like, and you know, can you help me find them, you know, when we're done, you know, like hang out a little bit. And so she's like, okay,
let's go
let's
have
do
some
it.
fun. Yeah. And
So
she's
they
like, okay,
go-
well, I've never been up there, but like,
Yeah.
I can help you. Let's figure this
Yeah.
out.
So they go upstairs. She goes into the room and she's like walking in and she's
There's
like,
no storage.
there's no storage. There's no files.
She's
There's
like,
a
well, maybe it's in
bed.
this random like drawer.
Yeah.
And there's just like a cot.
Yeah.
There's this mini fridge. There's like some drawers
A
over
closet,
here, but
yeah,
like
a closet
it's
with a
maybe it's in
bucket.
there. Okay, so she's like just confused.
She's like, what in the world? And
Right.
she's like turns around to talk to him and he closes the door. And even then, like Millie,
It's still not clicking.
Yeah, when
Like,
she
what?
just like is like, okay, maybe the door closed on accident. So she's like, I'll go open the door. Can't get out. And she's like, okay. And like she's making all these excuses because she's like, why? There's no reason why
Yeah.
this guy would have put me in a position like
Mm-mm.
this. And so she's literally like, okay, the door had to have closed on its own, and maybe it just locked, you know?
But then very quietly, here comes Andrew.
Yeah.
Nina.
Mm-hmm.
Nina. This is like his MO, his
quiet
prerogative.
and calm. And I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that would send
It's
me through the
so
roof every time.
fucking creepy, you
Yeah.
guys.
It pisses me off.
I mean, you know, you've read. And if you
Yeah.
haven't, spoilers galore, obviously. So he's the calmest, most in control psychopath.
Yeah.
He loves it too. So she's locked in there. And she endures, how many days was it? It was like 3.
Like 3 days. Because she like, after like the first day, he like in the mini fridge, there's like 3 mini bottles of water.
3, those
Not even
miniature
full,
bottles
like a
of
mini
water.
bottle of water.
3 mini water.
And he basically tells her like, hey, so your hair is a privilege. If you want to get out, I need you to pull 100 hairs out of your scalp.
Intact, with the root intact, right?
yeah.
So, you know, you've done that before. If he doesn't see an intact root on 100,
She has to start
she
over.
has to start the whole fucking process over again.
So
So this takes her 3 days.
Yeah, so she at first she's like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, that's stupid. And then eventually she's like, okay, I need to see my baby.
And what did he say? Not only that, but he's like, oh, well, when you run out of water
You'll
and you
change your
quickly
mind.
realize
Yeah.
and survival instinct kicks in,
You'll change
you're
your
going to
mind.
give me those fucking 100 hairs
Yeah.
intact.
Yeah.
Psycho.
So so the first time she does it, there was 1 hair that didn't have the full
Just
root
one.
intact. And so he told her, start over. So she starts over, she does it, but then he's like at work.
Oh,
so then
and she has to put him in this
wait.
little envelope very neatly.
Yeah.
Tuck it, close it, put it under the door, like,
Mhm.
here, my master.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. And so,
Depraved.
you know, eventually she meets his requirements and he brings up like a cup of water and a bagel and she's kind of like, fuck you. I want to go see my kid. And he's like,
no, you need rest.
you need rest. And so she's kind of like, I'm exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. So she ends up going to sleep. And so she goes to sleep and she wakes up and she hears somebody in the
She's
bathroom.
like, was that a dream?
Yeah,
Like,
she's kind of like,
there's
that was
no
so
way.
weird.
Like that was so weird. I must have been like fevering
Mhm.
and like I dreamt all of that because I don't feel right.
Mhm.
And there's no way my perfect husband,
Yeah.
like that, there's no way that happened. But like
Mhm.
he's in there, he's showering.
So
What day is it? Where am I at? Like totally one of those
so
kind
she's
of
like looking
things.
for her daughter and she feels woozy. She's like I know I'm hungry, but this is not right. Something's
don't
not
feel
adding
right.
up. And so she looks at her phone and she sees like all these missed calls and all these missed texts
Mhm.
from Andrew and they're like worried. He's like, are you okay? What are you doing? How's
Mhm.
Cecilia? What's going on? Just talk to me. And so she kind of goes into the bathroom to see like, and
Yeah.
she's like crawling because she's like, I
Yeah,
can't
she can't.
walk.
Yeah. So, because
Mm-hmm.
she was drugged.
Yeah. He drugged her.
He drugged her in the water that he initially gave her when she came
Mhm.
outside of
Yeah.
the room.
And then when she goes into the bathroom, she sees her infant daughter in the tub, like this close to like drowning.
like the water
And so
was
she's like
up
panicking.
to her neck.
She's panicking, freaking out. Cops come in right at that moment and they see her tub. She's whacked out.
Mhm.
And they're like, she's trying to kill her kid. So
Immediately arrested.
yeah, she's immediately arrested. She goes to a
Psych
psychiatric ward. She's there for months. And
8 months.
in that time, the doctors are like, hey, we've been to the attic. There's no cot in there. There's nothing like that is in there. It's all files. We've
Mhm.
been in there. They have pictures where they're like, see, like it's
Mhm.
not, it's something you just had like you had like a mental breakdown.
like
everything's
a schizophrenic
fine.
can sometimes
Mhm.
see, they have delusions, right? And that is part of their real. So side note really quickly, I'm a critical care registered nurse and I have all this like education when you go through school and you learn all these different things and we have psych rotations, but these schizophrenic people, they can literally, what they view in their mind is just as real as us having this conversation right here.
Mhm.
So they're telling her, you had this episode, and it was real. I believe you. It was real for you.
Yeah, so she ends up like accepting that, like, okay, maybe that didn't actually happen. And so she does the work, she gets out, and she gets home, she's excited to see her baby.
8 months.
Her mother-in-law is there, and her mother-in-law's just like a cunt. Like, she doesn't give a shit about her, but she's kind of like,
give a shit about anybody.
Yeah. So
I don't even know her name. Ugh.
Yeah. So she ends up going home, and then Andrew's like, hey, the doctor said it would be good for you to go up to and look in the attic and see it for yourself. And she's like, you know what? You're right. I do need to go up there and see it for myself.
It took her a few days.
They go upstairs. He does it again. He does it again. He locks her in the attic. She's like, I fucking knew it was real. I knew I wasn't insane. She's like, I fell for it again. And so over the years, he ends up continuing to put her up in there for the slightest infractions. And she
willingly goes when he tells her it's time for punishment.
It's either that or she goes back.
Or she goes to the ward.
Yeah.
And she also gets punished for what her daughter does. So if Cecilia does something that Andrew doesn't like, it's up to the attic for Nina. So she's living in this literal nightmare.
Yeah.
And he's a sick, depraved individual, so much so like that Cecilia has a peanut butter allergy. It's not this anaphylactic reaction to peanut butter. She's not, her throat's not going to close. She's not going to asphyxiate and like die. However, it's painful. And, she gets all over body hives. It's really uncomfortable, itchy, you could, whatever. Right. So she has a peanut butter allergy. He keeps peanut butter in no matter how many times she throws it out. He brings back the peanut butter. So it's little things like that. That's just like so incredibly like meticulated, like fucked up. And then there's the larger things where it's like, all right, it's that time of the month again. It's time to get you up there and teach you a fucking lesson.
And each time he has like some sort of different punishment. And at one point he has her like pepper spray herself in the eyes. And so, obviously Nina like,
could you imagine? He's like, open your eyes, spray it directly in your eyes, right?
So it comes to a point where Nina is like, okay, I cannot do this anymore. So she basically devises this plan where she's like, I can't just leave, because she's tried leaving in the past and he's like stopped her, and then up to the attic she goes.
The ward.
And so at what point he decides, she decides, I can't do this anymore. And so she kind of gets some help from Enzo. Because Enzo, he's seen her up in the attic a few times. He has a history where he had a sister who was in a very bad domestic violence relationship. And
so he understands.
So he's like, I want to help you. And so she comes up with this plan where she's like, I can't just leave. She's like, I need him to replace me. And so
I need to be replaced, or he needs to die.
Yeah. And like so
literally. Those are the two options.
Here comes Millie. So she finds Millie. She's attractive. She's beautiful. And she's like, okay, cool.
She's desperate.
Well, initially she's like, she's just an attractive young woman. And then she does the background check and she's like, oh shit.
This is really going to work out well.
And so she sees that she murdered her friend's rapist and she's like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, I'm not leaving just some helpless girl in my position.
I'm hiring
essentially like a hitman. An unknown,
she doesn't know it yet.
Hitman. Yeah. And so now we come back to Millie, at this point we come back to Millie. And Millie's in the attic.
Those books that she left out, right? She was all trying to distract herself after the grocery store, wigging out because I can feel Nina's eyes on me constantly at all times. She's trying to distract herself. So she's looking through some of Andrew's books at home. He gets home, she gets distracted by him. And long story short, she left the books out. So he had briefly just had gotten home and noticed, the books are out over there.
This is out of place.
So this is out of place. And so he literally leads her up to something as simple as that, leads her up to the attic, this whole let's make love shebang thing locked in there. And it's for that very reason. And which is just absolutely absurd. Okay. It's asinine to begin with, but then but he has to teach her a lesson. And so he has her, he wants her to put those books on her belly, carry them on her belly without them falling off for 3 hours straight. And so it's this whole debacle. She ends up doing it. She ends up succeeding just to get out of the room because, again, there's only 3 little water bottles in there for Millie. And it's just the same thing, wash, rinse, repeat, right? Just the same sick shit. So long story short, she ends up seeing in the room some pepper spray. So she's thinking about, oh my gosh, this is what Nina had to endure for those 7 years. She's obviously left me this pepper spray. I'm going to have to devise a plan to somehow get him in here, lock him in here to figure out what to do next. And then on top of that, she's just fucking pissed. Fuck you, you're going to do that to me? Okay, all right, two can play that fucking game,
and that's
buddy.
what I love about Millie.
And she also has this spare key, because when she moved in, she was like, how creepy that there's a lock on the outside of this door. Like, give me, I need a key. And so Nina had made her that key. So that's in the room, unbeknownst to Andrew, as well as that pepper spray from when he made Nina pepper spray herself in the eye. So it ends up being this like perfect storm. And when he comes in to like, oh, great job, Millie, you did it. Like, oh, I'm going to fuck you right now because, you know, you really carried those books well for 3 hours as your punishment. Like, let me come and like coddle you now so you can fall deeper into my pathetic, I don't even know what to call it, right?
It's just his control. Like, he's just kind of like, okay, cool. I've got this younger model pretty much. And now you know how it works. You have to keep up this like perfect image. And if you don't, then this is what you're going to do. And he tells her that. He's like, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. You know?
But honestly, even if she was to do what he wanted her to do,
he'll still find something.
He's still going to find something because he enjoys punishing women. And so what happens?
So, Millie, he comes in, he gives her a glass of water. She chugs the water and she's kind of like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, Millie is very smart. And she's very like, I guess street smart is like the best word to use. She's like, I probably shouldn't have chugged that. He probably did something to it, but she's like, but she's like, fuck it. And she's like,
I'm so
he
thirsty.
comes in to like give her like a kiss or something. And then she grabs the pepper sprays him in the face. Grabs his phone because he told her that he's watching her and he can see everything. So she grabs the phone.
Like, how the fuck do you know if I have these books?
Runs out, slams the door, and locks him in. And he's livid.
Oh, he's like, what the fuck?
Let me out. And she's like, oh, see, I can't do that. Like, fucking, I love that she does this. Like, she pretty much does exactly the same thing that he does. And so and
it's not okay.
She's like, I'm gonna go downstairs and like make a sandwich. She makes herself a nice little sandwich.
I'm gonna take a nap.
She sees that there's some messages between him and his mom about like Nina and how she's gonna get a divorce. He's gonna get a divorce. And so, you know, down the line, you know, she takes a nap and then she goes upstairs to check on him and he's like, you need to fucking let me out. And she's like, see, I can't do that. She's like, you know, she's like, you know, I think that you should put the books on your belly. And she's kind of like, he goes to do it, but he's strong
and he's rough, and it's like, well, those books aren't going to do anything to make you feel uncomfortable. So she's like,
you know what?
On your junk.
And so she's like, I'll come back in 5 hours. And so she goes and she takes a nap and like she like wakes up and she's like, oh shoot, I forgot about him. And so she goes upstairs. She like checks the footage and she's like, oh, he did do it for 5 hours. And so she's like, oh, Andrew, and he's like, okay, I did it. You can let me out. And she's like, oh, see, I can't do that. She's like, you know,
we should just like do something that's like definitively like, I know for sure it's happened. Because I mean, it looks like that, but I wasn't like technically watching correctly the entire time. And like, we just need something where it's like, you've done it and I can see that you've done it so we can move on.
So she's like, so you'll find under the door are some pliers. So she's like, I'm going to need you to go ahead and take a tooth. And he's like
come again.
Kidding. And she's like, yeah, take a tooth and then I'll let you out.
Pull out one of your teeth.
But meanwhile,
Mr.
she's
Perfect.
like, she's thinking about this and she's like, oh, he's really fucking pissed. And she's like, I can't let him out. He'll kill me. And so she's trying to figure out like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Right.
She realizes her situation almost instantly because she's like,
how am I supposed to do this?
How are we literally going to move forward? Because no matter what, whether it's after the books and especially after I make him pull out his tooth, he's never going to let me live.
Yeah.
He has the means, he has the money, he has the power, he has the control. She has nobody. Nobody's gonna believe her over this dude. She's fucked. And she's like, I'm literally, now it makes sense why Nina hired me. It all just starts to click. She's like, she wants me to kill this dude. And I'm literally gonna have to kill this dude.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Nina and Enzo are kind of talking, and Enzo's like, we cannot leave her. Like, you have to go back for her. And Nina's like, she's kind of like, I don't want to do this, but she's like, you know what, you're right. Like, so eventually she goes back, comes to the house, and it's quiet, like very, very quiet. She's like, okay, maybe he.
So she's really nervous for Millie.
So she goes upstairs, goes to the attic, and she finds.
Was Millie up there?
Yeah, Millie was up there. She opens the door, and Andrew is lying like in a pile of like, he's got blood all over his mouth, and he's dead. He's dead.
He's laying on his back, dead.
Millie is like, comes out, and she's got like pepper spray, and she's pointing it at Nina, and she's like, he died. And Nina's like, I can see that.
Yeah.
And she's like, Millie basically is like,
there was no other way.
There was no other way. And Nina's like, you know what? You need to leave. She's like, you need to go get a new life. I'll handle this all here. And Nina's kind of like, she's settled with the fact that she's probably going to have to do like time because he's dead. He's like this handsome man. And she's like, he had threatened her at one point that if she were to ever go to the police or if he were to ever to die,
there's a letter mailed out.
That's going to be mailed. And so that's kind of like kept her. And so she's like, you know what? Like, just go. You don't deserve any of this. I shouldn't have brought you into this. So Millie leaves and Nina.
Please come.
And the detective, she's talking to this male detective. And he's kind of like, it's so interesting that he was able to, it's interesting that he was able to lock himself in a room where it locks from the outside.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, because long story short, yes, he ended up pulling out his tooth, but he ended up dying from dehydration.
Yeah.
Because Millie ended up like, no matter what he would do to appease her, to let him out of the attic, she knew she could never let him out or he'd kill her. And she didn't know how to go about it. And so the way she went about it was she just left him in there.
Yeah.
And so obviously there was
no more water.
There was no more water because she drank it. Turned around, locked him in there. She's not going to unlock the door to give him water. No. Because he's gonna, get out, snap, and kill her. Yeah. She's not refilling it, and she's like basically like, well, then you should have left more water for yourself, anticipating this could happen to you like, one day. So he has no water, and she just left him in there. And so I don't know. It doesn't really go over how many days took place, but it couldn't have been more than 3 because usually you'll die after not having water for about.
And then you like couple too, I would say like probably like the stress that he put himself through with like the teeth pulling. And like,
the blood loss.
That probably didn't help. So
so he's so he's dead.
Yeah,
and Nina's the detective like, is Millie, and the detective's talking to Nina, and she's like, I am so fucked.
Yeah, and then the detective is like, you know something? I knew your husband. And he's like, he used to date my daughter. And she's like, oh. And he's like, yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah. And he said, it didn't end well, you know? And she's kind of
and
like.
she won't talk about it.
And and like Nina is like realizing like, cause he had like this elusive ex-fiance that like supposedly left him. And so, she tried to look her up at one point, but just couldn't find any information on her. And so she was just kind of like, okay, maybe she is just one that got away. And, the detective is like, yeah, so it looks like, looks like he locked himself in the attic on accident and he died.
Oh, well. So sad.
Yeah.
Case closed.
Yeah. And so then we kind of move forward, like, I want to say like a year later. Let's actually go back. Funeral. So the funeral.
Yeah.
So this is where like, oh shit. So the funeral happens.
This is where it gets
and they're having like yet again. Yeah, they're having like a viewing, and Andrew's mother comes in, and she's like this very stiff, proper woman, right? Like she keeps herself up. She wears white. Her hair's always done.
Yeah, can you tell?
And so Andrew definitely had mommy issues, and so he basically. The mom comes in and his dad comes in, and his dad is just like a wreck. He's devastated. His son is dead.
My baby.
He's so sad. Yeah. And mom looks like she hasn't shed a single tear. And the mom is talking to Nina, and she's like, I heard that he had lost his teeth were missing. And she's like, I would have thought that I taught him that there's privilege in having teeth. And I would have thought that when I pulled out his baby teeth,
with some pliers when he was a toddler,
that he would have learned that lesson. And she says, thank you for teaching that lesson.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for teaching him that teeth are a privilege.
And Nina is like speechless, and she's like, you know what? I'm free. I'm done. So
fuck this bitch.
She sells the house, and she sent Millie money, basically as like a thank you. Enzo and her kind of say their goodbyes. There was like a little brief like romance, but it was more so on Enzo's part. Enzo had feelings for for Nina, and she had always thought that he saw her as like a sister, and he's like, absolutely not. And so they did have like a brief little like sexual encounter, but like it was kind of like an agreed.
She needed to start
thing.
over new too. She needed to just like, okay, she's been in this hellish situation for 7 years. She needs to recollect herself, have a safe, sacred space for her and her daughter before she can entertain relationships. Like, it's just too much. She needs to go. It needs to end.
So she
no
kinda,
ties to the past.
So she kind of tells Enzo like, hey, keep an eye out for Millie, you know, keep an eye on her. And Enzo's like, hey, like, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to give this to you. She thanks him for what he did. And they kind of say their goodbyes. And then now we go forward a year. Millie is interviewing with a different family, and
she got recommended.
Got recommended by Nina to this new family. And the wife is like kind of talking to her, and she's like, you know, my husband likes things a very specific way.
She's bruised all over the place.
She's all bruised up, and she's like, my husband likes things a very specific way. And so she's kind of telling Millie without telling her that my husband is also a piece of shit. I heard about what you did with Nina and her husband,
and I need your help.
And Millie's kind of like, yeah, I think I could help you.
Yeah, totally help you with that.
And then, boom, we're done.
It was so good.
I loved that last little part where she's like, it's like, this is just going to be a new thing. And I'm like, this is perfect. And then she'll have like the cover of like these wives. And I'm like, this is actually what Millie's here for. Like, this is her purpose, is to get rid of these shitty fucking men. So,
So, before we close this chapter, we wanted to give our final rating on The Housemaid.
So, if you've been following along with our rating system, the one we shared earlier this month,
in January, because you're going to see this in the beginning of February. So we shared about a week ago, what will have been a week for you guys, our
rating system.
Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, actually. So needless to say, it's pinned on our Instagram. It's on all of our social media accounts. So if you follow us on Patreon, if you're supporting us from the very beginning, where you get exclusive access to stuff first, it's there. On our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube, but it's our rating system. And we're going about it, instead of like stars, we're doing moons. And so we actually give this one, it gets a solid gibbous moon.
So that's like 4 out of 5.
We are
obsessed. Yeah, we're obsessed.
We love the book. And we did watch the movie, and we kind of wanted to do like a mini review of that in here. And so I guess we could just say that quickly now. We loved the movie. Amanda Seyfried, Sydney Sweeney, they fucking rocked it. It was twisted. You should go see it. It pretty much, like,
it was pretty
90% of it followed the book. Exactly. There was some parts missing. It was mostly Enzo wasn't like that big of a character in the movie, which he is a big character in the book. As well as the other books, which I have not read yet. I believe you've read them.
I haven't read the other books yet, but I've heard that he's like a bigger part in the next upcoming books.
So obviously this ends up being the first book out of 4, I believe. And so the next one's The Housemaid's Secret. We'll eventually get to the other books, but we're moving on for February. We definitely like to switch it up, but you should go see the movie. That gets a gibbous moon as well. This book gets a gibbous moon, 4 out of 5. It was perfect. We're obsessed with it. Even though it came out in 2022, we wanted to discuss it now with you because the movie just came out. It's still in theaters. And so we're just kind of bringing it back, since people are going to be watching this movie now and talking about it now. So we thought that would be a perfect like January start.
Okay. So referring to our notes, really quick, we want to jump into February. So we're turning the page on January, moving into February.
Our February book of the month is going to be Letters to the Purple Satin Killer.
As you can see, we have it marked already.
We've started it.
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
We will have, it's super fucked up. Which is what we're all about here at this podcast. The more fucked up, the better. By the time you see this episode, we will have out our February reading guide on Letters to the Purple Satin Killer, so you can read with us. We broke it up into 4 sections.
It's just like, it's a little bit easier to digest. So you can read it at like a slow pace if you need to, no rushing, no pressure. We don't want this to be like a super pressured like book club or anything like that. We want to be able to talk about it in individual
And
parts
digest it.
and digest
Yeah.
it. And I feel like it'll be easier for us to talk about if we do it in the 4 parts.
Yeah, especially the type of content that we're going to be covering.
Mhm.
It's best to take it in little chunks.
Yeah.
All right. If you haven't seen it yet, just scroll back a bit on our Instagram or TikTok. It's the purple moody guidepost.
Yeah, it's gonna be our like our roadmap for the month of February. So
Yep. And then before we officially sign off, we do have a little bit of podcast business to take care of.
just a few things we want to share with you as we move into February. Okay, so referring to our notes,
Yep.
really quick, we want to jump into February. So we're turning the page on January, moving into February.
Yep. Our February book of the month is going to be
So I'm so excited
Letters to the Purple Satin Killer.
As you can see, we have it marked already.
We've started it.
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
We will have, yeah, it's super fucked up. Which is what we're all about here at this podcast. The more fucked up, the better.
Yeah.
By the time you see this episode, we will have out our February reading guide on Letters to the Purple Satin Killer, so you can read with us. We broke it up into 4 sections.
Yeah, it's just like it's a little bit easier to digest. So you can read it at like a slow pace if you need to. No rushing, no pressure. We don't want this to be like a super pressured like book club or anything like that. We want to be able to talk about it in individual parts
and digest it.
And digest it. And I feel like it'll be easier for us to talk about if we do it in the 4 parts.
Yeah, especially the type of content that we're going to be covering. It's best to take it in little chunks.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen it yet, so I'll just cut this part out. So, okay, so, all right. If you haven't seen it yet, just scroll back a bit on our Instagram or TikTok. It's the purple moody guidepost.
Yeah, it's going to be our like our roadmap for the month of February. So,
yep. And